Hello, welcome to another short video on how I like to play Dungeons & Dragons. And in this short video, I want to talk about how I play characters at the higher levels. Now, as I mentioned in previous videos, I play the Barbarian. And I play the Barbarian up to, as a subclass, up to a level of 6 maximum. Okay, so I want to quickly talk about what happens at level 6 with the Barbarian, because something interesting happens, which I will now describe. So, at level 6, the Barbarian reaches his maximum level, and here he has a choice, or rather, fate takes its... the gods roll the dice, as it were, and the Barbarian can become a Doomseeker, that's the word I like to use, or he can revert to Stronghold, another term I like to use. Stronghold means more of a traditional fighter. So, in terms of this idea of fate, at level 6, the Barbarian must make a charisma test. This is a very important test, because his fate is chosen within this test. Now, he can add his bonus to this test. So, he rolls. Now, a natural 1, he's failed the charisma test. And a natural 8, he's going to pass it. Now, if he fails, he becomes a Doomseeker. Now, this actually might be something that the player is seeking. Now, if the player actually wants his Barbarian character to become a Doomseeker, then you can ignore this role, and the player can say, well, I want my Barbarian to be a Doomseeker. However, the Games Master might think, well, let's just make a roll and see what the actual character wants. It all depends on what the Games Master wants. If you do make a roll and you roll a 5, then the player gets to choose. Okay. Now, if it's 6 or 7, it's a stronghold, and if it's an 8, it's a stronghold plus he gets D8 fighters. Now, I will explain the stronghold in another video. But if it's failed, or the player chooses to become a Doomseeker, what does this mean? Well, it's quite simply the Barbarian has now decided to seek death in combat. Now, he will therefore always use his raw power ability, which I explained in the Barbarian video. However, this is now improved to +3 to hit, +3 to damage. And on top of his maximum hit points, he will get a +D10 hit point surge, no matter what. So now the Barbarian is an extremely fearsome warrior. However, he will now enter combat without any retreat. In other words, he will seek his doom in combat. And that is the fate of the Barbarian at level 6.